The road to recovery we expect to be long and bumpy still. The speed of the recovery as we've seen it starting in the middle of 2009 started to decelerate the middle of this year, particularly owing to weaknesses in the major developed economies. But we also expect that to drag down the growth in the developing countries. We foresee major downside risks that are still there, particularly unemployment that remains very high in developed countries. It may take several years, maybe up to 4 years more, to return to pre-crisis levels of employment in those countries. We don't exclude the possibility of a double-dip recession in Europe and stagnation in the United States and Japan, with consequences for lower growth in developing countries as well. Growth recovery have been fairly robust in developing countries, with developing Asia, particularly China and India, growing quite strongly in 2010. And we also expect their growth to be relatively strong, but slightly weaker in 2011 and 2012. For instance, China is growing about 10% this year and will slow to around 9% in the coming 2 years. In Africa, we see growth still well below potential, to around 5% for the next 2 years. But it's a relatively robust recovery, not just dependent on stronger export demand for their exports and higher commodity prices, but also domestic factors play a role in the recovery in Africa, although it still will remain below potential.